Yo, Counter Attack podcast with myself, Daps. Um, so back on the Zoom today, we have. Oh no, wait, guys, make sure you like, subscribe, share, all of that stuff. Yeah. So today we got one of our old little friends back. You know, I say little, but when you see the size of his head when he comes in, you know that he's no little guy. But no, on the real, we've got a top man here. So we've got Josh Magennis again, Hull striker. So, you know, we've already chalked it up before last year. If you ain't seen it, go back and watch it. So now we're just going to have a little catch up, little update on what's been going on. And guys, make sure you like, subscribe and share. And I'm going to bring him in right now. So I'm just going to wait for him to join and look at the size of his head, mate. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Go and flip it. And then
got it.
There you go.
There we go.
There you go, mate. What's going on, Josh? How are you?
You all right? I'm not too bad. How are you? You all right, Daps?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Like, I've only been trying to get you back on for the last year. So it's nice of you to join us, man. But yeah, what's been going on, man? You know, new season. You know, the Tash is coming back, ain't it?
Tash is coming back. This has been 3 days, so I need to shave off my beard, and then we're back for November, mate. Shave a mo for a bro. You should do it. You've got a great mustache.
No, listen. If I start shaving that, like my sex appeal just goes. I mean, if I start keeping it,
you're too vain. That's your problem, isn't it?
Yeah. You know what? I might do it actually. I might. No,
it's good.
If I shave,
yeah, just leave the tash. Just leave that. There, like that. It gets a conversation. You say, why are you looking so creepy? Yeah, it's a mo for a bro, isn't it? It's a great cause, mate. It's a great cause.
I'm actually gonna. No, I don't want to commit to that. Actually,
no, don't commit. Don't commit because if you say you're going to do it, you have to.
Yeah, I'm not going to commit to that, but I might do. You know, I've not shaved my hair off like properly in years. I always just shave it down.
Are you single? Are you single?
No.
Then get it off then. You have to impress nobody. You've got nobody to impress. I'm the same, married, nobody to impress. You're off the market, so it's fine.
Yeah, no. I'm definitely gonna do it now. Now that you said it, I'm definitely gonna do it. But yeah, what's been happening, man? Back in the champ, you know.
Back in the champ, but it's been tough, mate. It's been a tough introduction back. Obviously, last season it was class. We got promoted, and then this season we're just in a tough period. But no, it comes with football, isn't it? Just a grind. You just got to grind it out. Good times, bad times. It's what we love doing, isn't it?
Yeah. Obviously, for you guys, Hull's such a big club. It's actually a massive.
Yeah.
So, you know, at minimum for me, I personally think you lot should be in the championship. But coming back up, were the hopes at the beginning of the season to just stay in the league first and foremost?
No, the gaffer didn't say that. The gaffer was like, we need to push on. Like, we need to try and go as far as we can again. And the reason that was because the core of our group was basically still the same, and we just added players in on loan. Obviously, people come and go. That's football. But the core of our group that managed to get promoted stayed together. So it was just about us trying to just kick on. But with injuries and stuff like that there, obviously the quality of other teams, that just isn't the case at this moment in time. But we're giving the go in each game. It's just little things. The luck that we had last season, we're not getting this season. But it wasn't just to stay up. I think our team's better than that. But it's obviously to do better than what we're doing at the minute, to be honest. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and from a personal point of view, is it hard to, you know, to take any positives when the team ain't doing too well? Like, so even if you wanted to say, oh, I'm doing all right, is it hard to actually...
Yeah, you can't. It's point... Yeah. Because there's no point you doing well if you're coming away with getting beat and slapped every week. Do you know what I mean? It's just pointless. Obviously, it's different. Defenders want to keep clean sheets, midfielders want assists and goals, and forwards want goals. But when you're getting beat, Daps, you know what it's like? Come travelling home on the bus and that, and in and about, going to shopping, people looking at you saying, he plays for the team that got slapped yesterday. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's a different environment in and around the city in the training ground when you're winning every week compared to when you're getting turned over. Do you know what I mean?
But even though, you know, I don't want to remind you, but obviously you guys are third from bottom right now. But even though you're in that position, are you more, hopeful that things will actually turn around because it is still early on?
Yeah, 100%. I think like the Champ's such a hard league. We've been in every game. It's just trying to take control of every game. There's only one game we played where I thought, wow, these boys are no joke, and that was Fulham away, where I was like, yeah, these boys are. You could tell they come down from the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? But apart from that, we've been in games flipping set pieces. You know what set pieces are like nowadays? Huge in the game, and just little bits of luck. But you feel down on yourself, and you're rolling into each game thinking, oh, you might as well not show up. So still got that optimism. And the fight, you still want to do well. So you've just got to keep plugging away, and sooner rather than later, it'll change for you. It has to, because if it doesn't, then you've got a curse of hex on you.
Yeah, it's interesting you say the set pieces because I've heard a load of managers say that recently, or just not even just managers, pundits talk about set pieces. And have you noticed the growing importance? And is that something that you've seen change within training, like working on the set pieces even more now?
Yeah, massively. I'm going to go as far as to say that behind the scenes, I think us as a team, Northern Ireland, we were one of the first to have an actual set piece coach. He's actually gone to Villa now, Austin McPhee.
Oh yeah, I saw him yesterday.
Michael O'Neill brought him in with Northern Ireland, and he was like a whiz kid. Like, he would come up with about 10, 15 set pieces, and then the manager would be like, "Nah, come on, we need to narrow it down." But we would do so many because we had Ollie Norwood and Chris Brunt. You couldn't have a better left foot or a better right foot. And then we had the likes of Macaulay, Lafferty, Cathcart, Johnny Evans, and that attacking the ball. And majority of our goals outside Lafferty, that campaign we got to the Euros, and even thereafter in the World Cup campaign when we got to the playoff final, were set pieces. They were massive. People used to, maybe not so now, just take them for granted. I'll just whip it in the box, go and attack it, let's go on. Even throw-ins, he would overload like 2v1s, 3v1s, just easy ways to get on the ball, not just lump it up the line. Do you know what I mean? So it's huge now, as you see now, like two contrasting teams at the top of the championship, with three, Bournemouth, Fulham, and West Brom. You see how West Brom play. They don't mess about. Every opportunity, any time they have an opportunity to put a ball in an opposition's box, they will, and they're capitalising on it. Do you know what I mean? As much as great players they've got, Carlon Grant, Alex Mott, do you know what I mean? Furloughs, long throw, with Bartley and that attacking it, it's no joke. Like, it's just any opportunity to put a team under pressure. It's like it causes havoc in the box. Honestly, it's mad.
Yeah, it reminds me of the old cliche of Stoke. I remember I heard Peter Crouch talking about when they used to have Rory Delap and or whoever
launching them then.
Yeah, and he used to say how sometimes they'd launch it in the box and they didn't even score from many throws, but it just used to cause absolute mayhem.
Yeah,
mayhem in the box and
carnage. It makes people nervous. See, when you're like, Jesus, it's like a corner. Like, people used to say, "Oh, Tony Pulis, blah blah," but it worked for him. He was a Premier League manager. It worked. Like, he was a top Premier League manager. Like, a couple of lads I played with from Northern Ireland worked under him at West Brom. Kept West Brom in the Premier League for years. Do you know what I mean? Now, obviously, it's not everybody's cup of tea, but there's loads of ways. Everyone wants to be Man City, but also everybody wants to win football matches, and there's loads of ways of winning football matches. And some teams that, if you've got the personnel and the setup to do it, you've got to take full advantage of it, because it causes sheer havoc. People don't know who to pick up who, second phase, third phase. Do we set up as a corner? Do we set up as a free kick? What are we doing here? Before you know it, the ball's in the net, you're 1-0 down.
Yeah, it's so funny you say that about the different styles, and you just got to work with what you're given, because like you said, everyone wants to play like Man City, and I've got this thing that I just really don't like Burnley, and I just really want.
Why?
I just don't like Burnley, but it's kind of what you said. Like, if Burnley had their choice, they'd probably play like City, Barcelona, but not everyone can do that. And I just think their style of play I just don't like it, but it works. And
I know it's 4-4-2. Smash it long. Every time I watch Match of the Day, Burnley's chances come from the opposition defenders and midfielders running towards their own goal. Do you know what I mean? I love Chris Woods and I love Ashley Barnes. They're no joke. They give people, listen, everyone wants to be Harry Kane, dropping in the pockets, half turn, half volley, spraying it like Son. But like Ashley Barnes and Chris Woods, Vidra as well, they're no joke of centre forwards. Like they make people uncomfortable. And you're saying that about Burnley. I know you always hear Sean Dyson, what he said in his press conferences. He's good in his press conferences, he's good with his words about having money to spend. But now they've got genuine money, cash ready to spend. So it'll be interesting to see with the funds he has available if he will spend them and go a different route away from 4-4-2. Because I think he's the only manager in the Prem that plays 4-4-2, like out and out.
Do you know
4-4-2.
It's funny you say that because...
Or will he keep it?
It's funny you say that because there's another podcast, Armchair Gaffers, that I listen to actually. And they're always talking about 4-4-2s coming back. It's coming back.
It really is, yeah.
And then I was watching Arsenal over the weekend, and the way they set up out of possession was a 4-4-2. So it's interesting to see, 4-4-2 coming back into it. And even on that, do you prefer, because for a long time, it's been one up top now. I don't know when it changed. I think Chelsea.
Yeah, 4-3-3, 4-5-1.
I feel like Chelsea messed it up, that Robin and Duff thing.
Yeah, they played.
I think when they came,
they were a scandal, yeah.
It just became one up top all the time. Do you know what I mean? But do you prefer?
And Drogba. It helps when you got Drogba.
Yeah.
No, I prefer playing with somebody else. Do you know what I mean? It's like when you play with two good centre halves against two good centre halves. Like early on the season, I played against Derby, against Curtis Davis and Phil Jagielka, and they were constantly talking to each other about me. He's coming this side, he's coming that side, open up, do this, do that. When the ball's in the box, vice versa, chatting to each other. So they always knew where I was. One was picking up, one was spare. But when you play with another centre forward, you can't be free. Yeah. There's no centre half free. It's one-on-one. It's this and that. There's movement in the box. But there's so many ways to skin a cat. I think some teams, some managers love following. They just love the facade of playing out from the back. It looks good. But practicality-wise, it doesn't work. Do you know what I mean? Like, you have to have the best players in those positions to be able to do that. Do you know what I mean? Not everybody has Bernardo Silva or Gundogan or De Bruyne or Laporte. Do you know what I mean? Or Ederson.
Do you know what it is, though? I think it all comes down to being brave enough or being honest enough to say that we can't do it. We can't.
It's not for me.
And I think that with, like I said, I don't like Burnley, but they ain't got the arrogance to be like, let's start playing out from the back and whatever, because we just don't have the players. And some might argue me that they do, but they don't. So for you, if your team started all of a sudden playing out the back, are you one of those that just get rid, just kick it long?
I'd be like, what are you doing? I'd be like, what's happening here? What's going on here? I'd be like, yeah, fair enough. We want to play. But like that, like we need to risk assess. Like, is it worth playing out? Like, or is it worth playing how we play? But like our gaffer, he likes to split and he likes to play. He'll have the centre backs split to drag in out midfielders to get in the ball. You'll have midfielders drop in so that he can play straight over the front third. So, like, he can play when we need to play. But, like, in terms of being like Man City, like, they're teams that generally try and replicate how they play. And I sometimes think to myself, are you bantering? Like, are you bantering? Well, fair enough if you're trying to do it. But number two, it's like, come on. But fair dues, like, some players, like, some players respect it and will try and do it. Some players will be like, come on, like, is there not another way to do it? But loads of managers nowadays are like, there's no plan B. It's just try and do plan A better. Keep doing plan A, keep doing it. And most things now that you'll see when managers, if you're playing and teams make a mistake or someone gives away a goal or someone goes through and it leads to conceding, they take the flak. They're like, no, this is how I want my team to play. This is on me. Mistakes like that are on me because this is how I want to play. So I can't ask my players to play like that. And then when they play like that and make a mistake, lambast them. It's all about trying to get better. So it's class. I love both sides of the game. I love how Man City play. They play unbelievable. Obviously, Liverpool, Man City are totally possession based. Liverpool are as well, but their counter attack is frightening. Absolutely frightening. 3v3, 4v3, don't matter.
Crazy. I don't know how, like, you can't cope with them. Like, Liverpool, I'm talking about, when they're all on court, there's no coping with them. Like, right now,
no.
It's funny because I was saying this as well last week that I was watching Match of the Day or something, and they were talking about Salah. And then someone, I don't know, Shearer, whoever it was that was on, said Salah right now is the best player in the world. And normally when people say stuff like that, I'm like, why are you saying it? But I couldn't even argue with it. I was like,
no, he is, generally is.
Fair enough. He's just playing on a different frequency right now.
He's just like that ability. Like, obviously everybody who plays in the Premier League has pure ability. More ability than others. But when you have ability with confidence, you're getting Mo Salah. He believes he can genuinely do anything he hits or passes or touches is going to end up where it is, and that is in the top bins. You see what he done to Man City's defence? Chop them up, cut inside, and then put it in the stanch.
And those are top defenders.
They are £50 million plus defenders, and he sat them down. And then playing against Watford when Liverpool done them, I was like, "Are you joking me?" It's incredible. Like, honestly, like when you see those boys and you're 3v3 or you're 1v1, 9 times out of 10 they're going past you and it's a shot on target. It's just whether it goes in or not. They're just on a different planet.
But it's so funny because I play non-league still, but that's like a million miles away from my ability or my level in my mind anyway. But for you, even though you're just a league below, do you still look at them and just think, oh my gosh, that's just a million miles away?
Yeah, I think so. Who was I having the conversation? I can't remember. So having the conversation with. I remember when you used to have. What were we talking about? It used to be like. What did he say? I can't remember. I don't want to. What he said. He said to me, like, from League One to Championship now, it's not really that different. Like, it's a massive step up, massive, like, player wise, is a massive step up. But in terms of, like, if you look at the teams now in League One, in terms of, like, fan base and away days and this type of a massive, like Portsmouth and Charlton, Sunday, like, you're getting 30,000-40,000 people each game. They can easily step back up to the Championship. Will he stay there? Will he compete? Doesn't matter. But the step from now, the Championship to the Premier League is huge. Like, if you look at the Premier League table now, there's no one there. Like maybe 10 years ago, it used to be like, oh, you got top 4, and then you've got another mini league, and then you've got the rest. Like, now you've got, like, every team is an unbelievable team. Like, even if you look at Leeds now, like last year, Leeds were absolutely flying, and then now they're not winning as many games as what they thought they would do. So if you're not on it there, you can be in so much trouble. And like, look at Norwich. Norwich, really, listen, two of my closest pals play for Leeds. I go and watch them all the time. And even the speed that they play at, to me, is like, oh my God, unbelievable. And they're going toe-to-toe and they're finding it tough. Norwich, they ran away with the Championship 2 years ago. Like, they got promoted with like 3 or 4 games left? No, like 4 or 5, and then became champions with 3 games left. And then unfortunately this year, they're finding it tough. I think the Premier League, like, I think the Premier League is the pinnacle of everyone's career. Do you know what I mean? I think obviously you have players like Lewandowski and Muller and stuff like that, and Ramos and stuff. They've played for top clubs in their home countries. But I think if you give them the chance to play in the Premier League at a top club, they would do it.
Yeah.
I think it's the pinnacle, mate. It's just the standard of player is insane. Like, I've been blessed enough, thank God, to play for Northern Ireland. And all the Northern Ireland players I've played with who have played in the Premier League, they're just a cut above, mate.
Oh, you know what?
They're technical.
it's so funny that I mean, not funny, but it's really good insight hearing you say that, because obviously you're all professional footballers at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But for you to be able to, you know, play amongst them and just even have that thing in you, just be like, yeah, they're cut above the rest. It's just really, really
Yeah.
good. So you mentioned Stuart Dallas, or you didn't mention him, but I know that's who you're talking about.
Yeah.
So when you're there at Northern Ireland, is it in training? Do you actually see that? No, he's actually playing at a different level.
He's playing FIFA. I'm actually thinking he's playing FIFA. He's running around playing FIFA. Johnny Evans is playing FIFA. Craig Cathcart is playing FIFA. Steve Davis is playing FIFA. Like, and I'm watching, like, and even before that, like even the likes of Chris Baird, you will not see. Chris Baird's technique was scandalous. Chris Brunt, scandalous. Gareth McCauley, people who probably thought his biggest attribute was getting on the end of crosses, because he was nearly scoring 10 goals a season in the Premier League. His technique ability was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And the biggest thing I think that separates those types of players is obviously, like, what I said before, we can all carry some sort of ability, but their self-awareness and their self-belief and their football IQ is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Always in space. So, like, right now, we've got Tom Huddleston, and when he plays in training, he's like, how is he always in space? How is he never under any pressure?
Yeah.
Like, he's never, like, you never see him run down a blind alley. Do you know what I mean? Or you never see him with his back to play running towards the sideline. He's always opened up, and he's spraying balls, cutting the grass with his right foot. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You can just tell. Do you know what I mean?
I'm so happy that he joined you lot. Actually, he really
he's so good,
and
he's such a nice guy as well.
Oh, proper top man, and I speak to him regularly. And I remember even saying to you before he signed, I remember saying in DMs, I was like, any chance of you lot signing him up, mate? Because
I know, yeah, because he was in training for ages, you know.
Yeah,
he was in training for ages, and I was just like, this guy is mad. And you have these people that say this all the time, right? Say, oh, he's getting a bit older. They can't really move. They can't really. I'm sorry, like, they don't need to move, because they're already 10 steps ahead up here. Do you know what I mean? It's frightening. Like,
I was gonna, like, lean on that point. Actually, I was actually gonna bring up Tom. We're now in a time where the older players it's like they just kind of pass to the side, regardless of if they've got the ability or not. Do you know what I mean? So I had Maps Adrian Mariappa on my podcast a couple of weeks back.
Yeah.
At the time, well, let me just say, because I don't know if he's going to anyway, but he was out of contract at the time, free agent. And then I was talking to him, but he's someone that still actively plays for Jamaica. He's someone that has however many games in the Premier League, but probably because of his age, people just kind of maybe look at him and just think, nah, he can't do it anymore.
Nah, not for me anymore, no.
Yeah, because like Tom Huddleston, he comes to training and he doesn't look out of place, I'm guessing.
No, like he's just what I'm saying as well. Like, they're always the first ones in. They're always one of the last ones to leave. And they always set a good example. Do you know what I mean? Like, long gone are the days now where pros and that come in, like, still half cut, or they're coming into training in their best gear because they've got a Tuesday club, because they've got Wednesday off. Like, you don't get those days anymore. Like, obviously we all let our hair down and we have a good time, but like, that type of environment and culture stuff is not there anymore. Like, when I'm coming in at Cardiff, like, I remember I used to come in and boys, like, some of the lads used to say to me, like, what are you doing today? And I was like, I'm just going home to digs. Like, no, you're not. You're driving us in and about town. So from training, I would have to phone my digs lady and tell her I don't need my dinner. And then one of the lads, I won't name names because I'll keep it for my book. He put me on his car insurance. put me on his car insurance, and he said, when we phone you, you come and collect us. Like, that, you don't get that anymore. Like, lads are in on their day off on Normatex and on the recovery machines. And then when I was coming through, like, it was all senior pro. It was like remember the reserve league? You had a reserve league and then you had a first team league. And if you didn't play or involved in a Saturday with the first team, you played on like a Monday afternoon or a Tuesday night for the reserves, and you had to try and break in. And you only had like four or five young lads. Everyone else was a senior pro. But now it's the opposite way around. Like there's no reserve league. You've got under 23s. You've got a core of lads like maybe 26, 27, 28. And then you've only got a couple of senior lads now. It's all youth. It's all athleticism. It's all dynamic. Like before it was like, yeah, you can run really fast, but can you control the ball? Can you do this? Now it's like, we'll teach you technique. Are you an athlete? Can you cover 11 plus K? Can you run over 1,000 high meters distance energy?
Yeah.
Like you see the Premier League now, Daps, you're like, not only can they play football, they are athletes. They are like 400 meter athletes, 200 meter. They're like, it's ridiculous.
But I still say there's no substitute for just experience, man. Having like, I'm a big believer that, you know, you don't win things at that level unless you have a good, genuine mix. Because I remember I was talking to, I don't even know who I was talking to, but I was talking to someone. And back in the day when I used to watch football, where all the top teams, it seemed like they all had a good crop of players who were always between the ages of 29, 33, like them kind of ages. Do you know what I mean? And that was seen as the prime. Now they're talking about, you know, players coming into their prime at 23, 24. And I'm just like, wow, like, but you need the older players. When you look at the Real Madrid,
need to go on.
Years, when you look at the, you know, PSGs, whoever, they've always got those experienced heads, and I just don't know how we've come so far away from that. That it's just, but maybe it's just the business of football. Maybe
I think it's a business of football. I think a lot of it now as well is like, I think the culture of how people are managed now as well. Some places don't like big personalities.
Yeah.
Some people don't like experienced heads in the building that if they go toe to toe, they're going to get something back. Some people like young lads that because they know when they speak, they're not getting anything back. Like they're new in the game. They're learning their trade.
Yeah.
Like when I played under Dave Jones, well, not play, when I was in and about the first team, like, and Dave Jones was playing, Terry Burton was playing, like the personalities that played in that dread, like we had Roger Johnson, Darren Pearce, David Ford, Tony Capaldi, Kevin McNaughton, Gav Ray, Jay Bothroyd, like boys that would go toe. You're going toe to toe. You give the ball away, you're going toe to toe in training. You're going toe to toe after the game. Like they have no bother of like having it out there and then when Monday comes, it's been dusted, it's dealt with. We're only trying to win the game. Like I think now, like you can't speak to people in those circumstances in that way anymore.
Yeah,
that style of man management's gone, especially with under 23s, especially with all the carnage now. You're not allowed to make, young lads aren't allowed to make goals anymore. Not allowed to make cups of tea. They don't clean boots. They don't sweep the dressing room. They don't paint the terrace. They don't do any of that anymore.
It's crazy because that's how I came up. I remember like coming up, and the older players would always like, because they're playing for like to pay their bills. Do you get what I'm saying? This is real life for them. So, you know, they used to rip one into me and then, but I'd take it. I remember one game when I was young, I was coming on and I was playing left back. The centre midfielder had the ball and I should have been there up higher, but I was still way back. He looked the ball and I weren't there. And then he absolutely killed me. But then I didn't do it again. I learned from it and we move on. After the game was having a drink in the clubhouse and whatever. But you're not allowed to do that. Again, last year, there was a game, I don't know if it was last year or the season before. Aubameyang was through on goal. And I think it was Ainsley Maitland-Niles or one of the young players messed up the pass. And it was a horrible pass. But then Aubameyang ripped into him on the pitch. The next day, all over the media, it was like, oh, he's a senior player, he should know better. He's killing these young guys. I'm just like, what? Like, How did we get here?
Like when I was coming through, there was no social media. It was just the evening newspaper, the local newspaper, and then obviously had Sky Sports, but not as how Sky Sports is now. But like first, like because we trained we were at Cardiff. We had two different training grounds, and when the youth team manager used to say to you, "You're going to train with the first team," I was shaking. Lads were shaking because if you messed up, I don't want it. And I remember like early on in my career, we were doing like we used to pick teams. Like I'll have this player, I'll have that player. Yeah. Like come to games, Daps, senior pros were like, we'll play with a man down, we don't want him.
Yeah.
And I was standing there like, oh my God. And then the coach was like, nah, you've got to take him. And then give the ball away, screaming, not good enough. Get him off, blah, 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 this, blah, 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 that, blah, blah, blah. And I was thinking, oh my God, this is absolutely mad. I used to clean Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank's boots. And I still remember that day, it was like Deodorants. They were like a shiny blue and had like a silver Deodor sign. And I was washing them, and one day I remember he came in and he chucked them on the floor and he was like, what is this? And I was like, what? I was like, Jimmy, they're clean. He said, nah, they're too wet. They're too wet. And I was like, they're too wet. And then as time went on and on and on, and then obviously Christmas time came, you got your tip, and he tipped me well. He's like, you looked after my boots. You looked after my boots. And it was the same with Christmas dues, because back, like now, Christmas do, young lads don't really go. Christmas do isn't really a thing anymore. You have more lads that won't want to come than do come. But Christmas do back then was like, this is sanctified thing. You've got to go. And back then, I remember the first couple of Christmas dues I had. Do you remember Mark Kennedy played for Liverpool?
Yeah.
And Mark Hudson. Yeah, the defender was at Huddersfield, and he was my captain at Cardiff. They were just like, you're in charge of the kitty. And I was like, what? Like, you're in charge of the kitty? Like, when the senior lads want a drink, you're not to be sitting down. You get the senior lads a drink. So I was like, right, okay, no problem. So that was like Saturday, Sunday. And then at the end of it, they said, whatever's left in the kitty, just you keep it. Now, it wasn't fortunes, but it was enough. But like around that time, around when it was Christmas due, they sort of said to you, like, we were hard on you for a reason, but they always looked after you. Like Jed Bothroyd was on my case flat out when I played. Like a couple of times I wore his boots pre-season. Like, you know what pre-season's like anyway. I wore his boots in pre-season to break them in for him. But like, he always looked after me with boots. So when boots used to come in, he used to give me a pair. Yeah. And the youth team lads were like, how the hell did you get a hold of them? And I was like, well, I'm Jay's boot boy. And then he used to always sort me out. But he was always hard on me. But I liked it. I loved it. I loved the lads, because I knew, like, if first team lads were to add my name in their mouth, then we were having good chat, we're having good banter. Still had to help the kit man out and stuff, even when I was a Simon Senior Pro. Still had to help the kit man out.
Yeah.
But now, like, you can't, there's no, like, the young lads, maybe you carry stuff from the bus to the dressing room and back. You're not picking up sluggies and that, and Senior Pro's dirty towels. But you're not doing none of that anymore.
I feel like it teaches you, and it kind of just humbles you. Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
it hardens your Daps.
Yeah, I feel like you need that, because now you get to, when it comes to match situations and in the game, like, at least you know that we're in it together. Do you get what I mean? There's still this togetherness.
100%.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. This hopefully, well, I can't say
it was true though, but it won't change, because I knew, like, when I signed my pro contract, because of the atmosphere that was in the first team dressing room, I didn't feel like a pro. Dave Jones used to say to me, he said, don't you dare become a pro before you're an actual pro. He said, I ain't having it. And I remember we played Leicester playoff semi-final at home. Swear to beat Reading away. Was it Reading away? Then we had to play Leicester at home, and I went all the way to penalties. We beat them in penalties. And the lads were going out. Dave Jones said, don't you go out. He said, if I find out you're out, you're in trouble. I was like, it's just playoff final. Like, what's going on? Me being me, went out, he found out. I was in his office. He was going mad. He said, I told you not to go out. Got punished. I had to come in early and stay late. But that was just the thing. But I had this conversation with someone else the other week. Like, as much as football's a job, and like, I want my two boys to play football if they ever become like that way inclined. And for me as a parent, sending my kids off to an establishment like it's a professional work environment, sport is so different. I've seen more naked men than anything. I've heard language, I've heard conversation that maybe you wouldn't get in an every other day working environment. HR would be on the phone every other day. So you have, I understand that people think, yeah, you have to pick up other people's dirty stuff. You have to do this, you have to do that. You have to clean dirty mugs. Hold on a minute, that's not really good enough. I understand, in the broad scheme of things, in other works of life, that might be the case. But in this case, I think it humbles you. One, because you're earning fortune, and two, you need something to bring it down to ground. Because if you go away with the fairies, mate, it's hard to come back.
Yeah. No, I think that's why I still play, to be honest, even at non-league level, because that brotherhood and that banter in the changing rooms is unrivaled. Honestly, it's
Daps, you can't get it.
Honestly, it's just so. I think I prefer that more than the actual football. Do you get what I mean? I'll miss that.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah,
I'll miss that more. And even so, I was out injured for a couple of weeks, and I was only injured for 2-3 weeks, maybe 4. I came back in the changing room, and it was just like, oh, I'm just here. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and you get like you said, some of the things you hear in a traditional workplace. Hey, Charles.
You're right, aren't you? You're gone. You get your P60 and you're gone.
Yeah.
Thanks for your services. 0 recommendation. Off you go. But in football, it's laughed off. But the chat's not even like that anymore. That's gone are the days of putting deep heat in people's moisturizer or doing mad stuff with a toothbrush. Do you know what I mean? Those days are gone, or cutting someone's gear up. Obviously the generations change. Social media is there, so most of the lads are like this in their phones, or they've got pre-activation to do, or they've got to do some type of testing, or football changes so much. And it wasn't until I remember obviously David Bentley, when he was I just retired, I just had enough. Football wasn't the same.
Yeah,
coming in, getting rubs, just wasn't the same.
Yeah.
And I guess to see what he says, football's changing in the past 10-15 years from when I come through to 10-15 years in the future. It's going to be so different.
Do you I ask this question a lot to players. Do you still, obviously, I still would like to think that you enjoy football, but is it more of a job at times? Are there times where you're just oh gosh, I've got to go, just in terms of getting motivated? Because when you're young and you're full of life, it's just you're just happy to be out there.
Yeah.
Is that still the case now? Or is it more a job, and I've got a job to do? I need to feed my family. I need to,
Yeah, of course. First and foremost, I said this last time when I'm playing football. When I speak to Magen, I'm like, what's the deals being offered here? What's going on? Where I'm at? I want to play at the highest level. I want to do everything I can. But first and foremost, got a beautiful wife. I've got 2 beautiful children. My family need looked after first and foremost. I'll never apologize for that. But the day it started, we all used to love playing football, going across, went on trial across the water, was brilliant. Playing youth team football, brilliant. And then you could become a pro and you start playing, you're like, fuck. You're like, right, okay, 3 points on the line here. You've got to win. There's expectation here. Then you've got, obviously, the expectation of the fans, who will, if you're not representing the club how they think you should, or they're not as entertained as they have been the week before or the week before that, they're going to let you know. Then you've got to deal with injuries. Then you've got to deal with lack of form. And then you've got to be in and out of the team. So, you get smacked with reality of this is no joke. This is no joke. There's days where I'm like today when we were trying to message today, I'm like, it's 10 to 6. I've been in the training ground for about 7 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm like, right, okay, no problem. Now to a traditional job, you're in work for 7 hours. That's well, yeah, I understand. That can sound crazy, but That's not the way in football. Then I'm like toying, like I'm arguing with myself. Like, I've got to go in early. I've got to make sure I'm sweet. I've got to stretch. I've got to get up earlier. Then I'm fighting with myself to get in the ice bath. I'm like, I don't really need it today, but no, you've got to get in. You've got to give yourself every opportunity. So I understand what you're saying. It's the love of the game that I had there from when I was like 16, 17, 18. No, but that's because the expectations gone up. The demand levels have gone up. Do you know what I mean? Like you see, like people say this all. What problems does Ronaldo have or Messi have? From like no, it's all relative to your situation. They're all going to have their own problems. Do you know what I mean? They're all fighting their own stuff. People who think Ronaldo went back to Man United just on a Ferris wheel just to be there. No, he's still going to have his doubts. He's still going to have stuff to go through, and he's still going to have his ups and downs. It's just the perspective that you have. But no, I completely understand what you're saying. It's not like, oh, Jesus Christ, I've got to go to work here, or fuck me, I've got football away, I've got to play Stoke away, or I've got to play. Who's the furthest game away last season? Right. Well, this season we've got to go to Cardiff away. We've got to fly to Cardiff away. Like it's not that bad, but the it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Like it's not that anymore because the expectation is so high. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that is one thing that people think with football players, that they get paid. It's the old thing of they get paid all this money. They got no choice but to be happy and whatever. But away from it all, you are still a normal human being who has to deal with a level of expectation. And you're not there by chance. You work hard.
No.
And staying there is a thing. So when fans are maybe on your back or just saying, he's rubbish, he's blah, 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 blah. I personally don't like to do that because I understand. Yeah. And even then, I don't even understand what it takes to be at that high level. But, for players to actually come out and perform under the pressure that they do in this day and age, it's crazy. So when they're doing it, you just got to just give them their fair due. Like you mentioned Ronaldo, I can't imagine the pressure Ronaldo feels to perform.
Walking back out at Old Trafford again.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I can't imagine that. But he does it. Do you know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying, mate. Really aside. It's the mindset, mate. The mindset of these players is scandalous. It's scandalous. It's like SAS level. Like I watch that program thinking to myself, how do these give? How do they get through this? Because they're just a different breed. They're not a different breed. Everyone says you can't treat like what Messi says, you can't treat people like that. I'm like, yeah, I know, but you're not cut from that cloth. Like that's just a different breed. Some people react to positive ways to being told how they're being told, but it's not for everybody. Like that's like signing back from Man United as Ronaldo, getting the number 7 shirt, walking back out at Old Trafford. Scandalous, walking out that tunnel, but then he does what he does and scores a winner. Do you know what I mean? It's incredible. But no, you deal with mad stuff. But like the majority of the fans, like you miss a chance. Oh my God! Like you'll get the raw emotion there and then. You give away a ball, you'll get the raw emotion. Listen, I'm the same. I go and watch football match. I go and watch my kids. They do something mad. They get the raw emotion there. But when the dust settles and you come back round, then you're like, okay, well, at least they've tried their best. No one goes out to lose. It's the minority of continue it on to the social media platforms, continue it on and keep it going. And you're like, where's this come from? Like nobody means to do anything bad. No one means to do anything like that. So the pressures that you play under as any, obviously everyone goes through their own pressures, whether you're in real estate, whether you're in banking, whether you're in anything, your own business. That's the thing. It just so happens that sports people, when they're under pressure, they have 50, 60, 10, 15,000 people watching live. There's no rewind. There's no let's go again. It's happening there and then.
How do you deal with that sort of stuff? So great example, don't need to bring it up, but you skied a pennant, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
You skied one. No doubt you will probably get
one, mate.
Okay, I weren't going to bring it up, but at that moment, what's going I can laugh, but when I saw it on Sky, I was just like, I didn't know what the score was, I didn't know whatever. I was watching Sky, I was like, oh yeah, go on, Josh, he's going to put this in. and you sky it, yeah. I'm like, what? Because you obviously
Yeah.
know how to take a penalty, but it's just one
Yeah.
of those things. Like, what was going through your mind in that moment?
So the penalty. So we went 1-0 down, scored the equaliser, and I was like, right, okay, no problem. I'm having a decent game. I feel okay here. Second half, we were on top. Malik goes free, gets brought down, penalty. I'm thinking, happy days. Haven't missed the penalty.
Yeah.
Haven't missed the penalty. So I'm thinking, I'm slotting it in.
It's been a long time though.
Long time, yeah. So, but my penalty, especially my penalties for Hull, haven't missed. Shootouts, whatever, haven't missed. So I'm thinking, here we go, easy, no problem. This is your routine, no problem. I'm not worried about the fans, I'm not worried about people back in the stadium. I'm fine, no problem at all. So, and this is how I know that I missed. So I was like, right, well, I normally go keeper's left, my right, slot as hard as you can, keeper's left, my right. And then as I got the ball in my head, I was thinking, no, I'll just blast it. And then I was fighting with myself. I was arguing with myself in my head. And I set the ball down and I walked back and I'm still like, am I going to side foot? I'm going to blast it. I'm going to side foot. I'm going to blast it. I said, I'm going to blast it. And then by the time I thought about, the referee blew his whistle. And then as I was running up, I said, side foot it, side foot it, side foot it, side foot it, side foot it. And then last minute, as I planted my foot, I said, just try and cut across it. So I didn't blast it. I tried to like cut across it. And I've hit it. And as I've come up, I've fucking missed. I said, I knew I hit it sweet. Sorry, excuse my language. I said, I knew I hit it sweet, but I knew it missed. And then as my head come up, it just gone. And I was like, oh my God. And I wasn't annoyed with the fans shouting or anything. Like, you deal with that. I was annoyed at myself. I was fighting with myself. I was like, I'm arguing with myself. I said, every penalty I've hit, I haven't done that. I know what I'm going to do. I was like, even if the keeper saves it, at least I was true to myself. But I was arguing with myself. And then even the bigger one was like, because I watch players all the time. I'm like, how do you miss the target? How do you miss the target from 12 yards? Are you joking me? And I was like, Josh, no, you didn't even make the keeper work. And then I watched it over and over, and I was like, the keeper didn't even move. He stood still. I said, even if I had a P rolled it in, it was going in. But I just had to deal with it. Like, I'm not on Twitter. I stepped away from Twitter because I was arguing back and forth with people. And I was like, people don't need my happiness. People don't deserve to steal my happiness. Yeah. So I was like, I'll step away from that. Obviously, I got messages on Instagram, but I didn't reply to those. I just blocked them. And all I see is the first you and then dot. And then I'm like, okay, delete. But no, I think just growing old. Like when I was younger, like the expectation of playing used to really get to me. But now, like that penalty miss is 100%. Like it is what it is. You miss the penalty. Do you know what I mean? No one means to miss. But I'm more so annoyed at myself more than dealing with anything like on the fans wise. Because then 2 days later we had an open day. Then we had an hour and a half signing session. So I was at the table. Can you sign this, please? What the hell were you doing the other night? Yeah. So, yeah, I know. I missed the penalty, but it just is what it is. Do you know what I mean? But I know what you're saying. It's actually, like dealing with it was mad.
But the thing is, before we move on from that, more about your what was going on in your head. Yeah, why was it different that time? Do you know? Was it just a random thing where you just started second guessing yourself?
So I always do penalties during the week. So I don't do them Monday, Tuesday. We have a day off Wednesday, and I'll do them Thursday, Friday. And when I was striking them clean. Even if the goalies that were in net, so we have good goalies. By the time they reacted, it was already past them. And I was thinking about that. I had 3 penalties towards the end of last season, and I went down the middle. And at the same game, the keeper, by the time he reacted, it went in. But I was thinking to myself, no, because he might stand up. More goalies now are standing up. I was like, just go back to what you do. And then I couldn't just make my mind up in that situation. For some reason, I was just fighting with myself. Normally, like it happened before when I was playing away at Crew. Come on, same thing happened last season. Penalty. I was like, I'm going to go. He said, no, smash it. I said, even if it saves it, just smash it. Made my mind up, smashed it, went in. But even when I was running up, I was still toying with myself. Yeah. And it didn't fully do my running stuff. And I knew then. So after that, like if another penalty comes up, I'll still grab the ball. Like that won't like missing it. Like it won't bother me. But I just have to stay true to myself. I don't know why I've done it. It's mad. That's
Yeah,
it's absolutely mad.
It happens. It happens.
No, it happens. Yeah, yeah. Just hopefully it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, just make sure that next one that comes, you just do what you need to do. I mean, you might get a couple goalkeepers watching this thinking, okay, I know what he's gonna do now. So
yeah, head it over.
So, hopefully not. But you actually are playing West Brom tomorrow. Oh no, Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday. Yeah, that's going to be a good game.
Yeah. So you're playing West Brom Wednesday, right? So looking forward, we're going to do a little preview of that game now. West Brom are obviously, I think they're third. Are they third? I think they might be third. I think they might be third in the league, and a sure favourite, let's just say, to go back up.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are fighting for it right now. To say it like that. What's going to be? What's the current mindset or the current what's the word, morale like in the camp in regards to tomorrow's game? Because it's going to be a very, very tough game. But like you said, in the championship, as hard as it is, anyone can beat.
Anyone can beat anyone, yeah.
So what's it been like trying to prep for this game, knowing who you're coming up against?
Just obviously, there's loads of things happening, like, because it's a bit obviously apprehension, like to do well, like to do yourself and the team justice. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm one of those ones. Like I can deal with fans saying that you're rubbish, right? Do you know what I mean? Like if that's your opinion, not a problem. You're rubbish. What really, really, really would get me down is if my teammates looked at me and thought, oh, he's on the team sheet now. Like they have no trust in me. Like that's as long as my teammates look at me and go, yeah, he'll give it a good go. I know what I'm getting from him. That's fine. I can deal with that. So it's apprehension of making sure that you can contribute something. So if I'm playing on Wednesday and a couple of touches come off me, right? Okay. Well, at least I know Bart and Clark aren't going to have an easy time with it. Get smashed forward. There's not going to win a clean header. Like just bring something to the table that your teammates can feed off. That's what I'm thinking. Because football's mad. Sometimes, like when you may be on a bad result, is it better playing away from home? Is it better trying to get their home fans on top of them? Because they're going for promotion. Their mindset's probably, let's be honest now, their fans are probably thinking they're playing a team that's third from the bottom, we're third from the top. Their expectation is to come beat us.
Yeah.
So 30, 40, 50, 60 minutes goes in. The longer it goes on, that we can hold them in the game. Like, you know what it's like, expectation. If it's not there, the fan, they're going to let you know, like, what's going on here. And then you can try and take advantage. And then I'm thinking, like, if I'm playing, I'm going to have to come back a lot because they do long throws. That means they're both centre backs are going to come up and I'm going to have to come back and I'm going to have to defend. So come win, lose or draw, when I'm in the dressing room in 90 minutes, my body's going to be in tatters. Probably going to twist an ankle, most likely get stood on. And we're just getting ourselves prepared for an all-out battle, mate. As well as we're trying to play football, West Brom are a battling team. 6 foot plus boys who are willing to stick it all on the line.
Yeah.
And then then the gaffer will obviously be trying to come up with a plan. You'll be watching film now. Like I was leaving there at 6 o'clock, and him, the assistant manager, the goalie coach, and the coach were there. They'll be watching film. Y scout with the analysis guy. Like where do their chances against come from? And then he'll be going to the game plan tomorrow for the team that's starting to try and overcome it, and then he'll try and implement it to us. So there's a lot that goes on to go into a game. Like some people I talk to think that we just show up, you get given the team, and then you just go and perform. I'm like, no, guys, no, that doesn't happen. Like so much will be going in, but there's like, because we experienced it last season. Like there's 2 different types of nervousness. Last season we were nervous because we were high flyers. Everyone wanted to catch us. So our nervousness came from we have to perform and win. Now this season is we have to perform and do yourself justice.
Yeah.
So trying to get your head around it, it's fine. Try and think about too much. Try and think about the outcome. You try and think about anything beyond the game that's actually being played. It's pointless. You just try and do as much as you can when you're playing it.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, it's not TV, is it? Oh, nice. Champions League on as
Oh,
well.
is it? No.
No, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when I look at that game, there's so many different styles with the top team. You've got Bournemouth who like to play, really good football and whatever. Fulham
Yeah.
like there, but like you said, West Brom are just so physical. When I watched it,
So physical, man.
it literally is just about they battle first and then win the game. But you just gotta first and foremost when you're playing against them, you just gotta win your battle. Do you know what I mean?
Just win the battle.
You know what? If you need to give me, McCann's number, I can just, chip in and do the
Yeah, give us
yeah.
You'll take someone out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man. You'll have it. You'll have it.
Hopefully you lot come away with something. I really want you lot to come away with something because obviously you're playing. You've got Huds there, so it's going to be a decent game, and I'm going to look out for the scores. Are you home or away?
No, we're away, mate.
Are you away?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's a good stadium.
Yeah, you might be looking at a 5. No, I'm joking.
No, you idiot. I'll hunt you down, yeah.
No, never.
No, what are you joking?
Never. But very quickly, 2 more things to touch on right before we leave. Obviously, today, we're recording this on Monday, Tottenham have parted ways with Nuno. Number one, were you expecting that?
No.
Really? Why's that?
Yeah, 4 months, Daps.
And he was manager of the month, August.
And he was manager of the month in August. But Daps, this is what I don't understand, right? And I was thinking to it and have the beauty of listening to Talk Sport when I travel in from Manchester to Hull, right? And I listen to some people about this expectation and that expectation, right? Okay, no problem. Okay, I get it. Like, I think that some people think that a manager's free. Just phone him, give him what he wants, get him in the door. It's like, no. Like, the board and Daniel Levy would have done their due diligence on every manager. They would have sat down with him in a room and they would have said, what's your plan for Tottenham? How do you wish to play? How are you going to spend our money? How are you going to do this? How are you going to do that? And when they've come out of the meeting, they've all gone, I like what he has to say. Now, whether the results at that time are coming across with how the meeting was, then that's not the case. That's maybe not the case. Or maybe the team is playing how the manager wants them to really play, but the results just aren't there. You just don't know. But like, these board members and the chief exec, they vetted the managers that come in. For some reason or not, they thought it was time to part ways. Then you've obviously got to deal with players' lack of form. You've got to deal with injury. You've got to deal with all that. You got to get people to buy in as a manager to what you want. Sometimes that doesn't happen. So for me, going forward, I think for me, if I was Tottenham, if I was in charge of Tottenham, I would give it to Ram Mason for no time scale. I would just say, Ram, look, I would be honest with him. I would just say, Ram, look, you're probably not in our plans to be a manager yet. We're looking for a successful manager and we need to find one, but you're in charge now. I wouldn't make a decision so hastily on Conte or anyone. I would let him play and I would do a proper breakdown of what I want Tottenham Hotspur to be. Because Nuno Santos, he never played open, expansive football. He played counter-attacking football and was well drilled at Wolves, and he tried to bring that to Tottenham, and they didn't want that. Brought Jose Mourinho in, didn't want that. Do you know what I mean? They got rid of Pochettino, they took him to the Champions League final. They didn't want that anymore. So, like, you need to find what you really want to be as Tottenham Hotspur, and then you have to find a manager, and then you have to give that manager time and, of course, investment.
Yeah.
Because people are talking about Conte, but, like, what about the Ajax manager?
Who's that?
Or Joachim Low. He's not in Germany anymore. He's just dealing with young players. He's just a success. So I don't really know. I don't really know what they're going to do, but that's what I would want to do, because hiring and firing ain't going to work.
Yeah.
And how the Premier League's going, you're finished 10th.
Trust me. The reason why I even brought this up now is because this might be a little bit of a touchy subject, because obviously, I want to talk about the perception of when a manager's under pressure versus the reality of what it's actually like at a club. So,
yeah,
I don't want to speak, to whether or not your gaffer's under pressure or whatnot, but people might look at it from outside thinking, the players have they're not playing for him anymore or whatever. But does it ever really get like that for you as a player where, a manager, you might hear that a manager's under pressure or whatever, but does it ever really get like that with behind closed doors?
Yeah, but listen, for us and our gaffer, like, you can't, our gaffer treats us so well and with so much respect. So our gaffer, regardless of what the score, last 2 seasons ago, we got beat 8-0 off Wigan in the Championship.
Yeah, I remember that.
And our gaffer did not dig anybody out. Did not dig, half-time, full-time, nothing. Not even in the meeting. It was all us. Our gaffer doesn't work. We'll never point a finger. We'll never do that. So when we lose, we all lose. It's not you and us. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've never seen that at this club. Obviously, you'll have media can't help themselves but talk and all that malarkey. Do you know what I mean? But I know players that have played under managers who have lost the dressing room. They'll be like, he's lost the plot. He's made it us against them, or what he's trying to do isn't working, and they're just like, I'm not having this anymore. Yeah. And then subsequently, the first person to go is always the manager. He's not the one playing, but managers are always the first ones to go. Do you know what I mean? And I've heard and I've talked to people who have been at clubs over the years, and I've seen it, and they've been like, yeah, and I'll be like, yeah, you could tell.
Yeah,
it's mad, isn't it? How it can happen.
It's such a tough one, because even when we talk about Tottenham, Nuno's gone. I expected it to happen only because of the fans' reaction against Man United. Ridiculous. Like, no way you can survive that. There's no way. That booing was.
Well, all he did. All he survived it against Liverpool.
I feel like Ollie is just he's got a different engine behind him. I don't know what it is, but he just manages to just always, bust case. So,
well, saying that, he beat Tottenham, and then I bet you he'll get a team performance against Atlanta that'll be convincing. And they'll win. Do you know what I mean? But I don't know. But yeah, it's like after those, that was toxic. After they got beat off United, wasn't it? That was real.
But I'm one of those.
That was really real.
I'm one of those that's like, as much as it was a bad, performance or whatever, sometimes I like to, maybe I'm a fool for this, but sometimes players actually need to take like the blame.
Responsibility.
Yeah, because some of the performances from some people is just absolutely embarrassing. And it's just not good enough. Do you know what I mean? The manager can only do so much, but once you pass that line and get on the pitch, you've got a job to do. And sometimes it'll just be nice if the players took responsibility for that sometimes.
Yeah.
But for me anyway.
I don't think you'll ever get that with those types of players, will you?
I don't know. I feel that's
that elite level. They'll be thinking we should be coaching that better. So, do you reckon?
Probably. I
like are you going to get Harry Kane coming out saying it was my fault? I don't think you are. Are you?
Nah, but it's so funny.
He'd be thinking, I need better players around me. I need better systems around me. No,
it's not good enough. It's not good enough. And I don't like
mad though.
Managers.
No, but is this going to be the way it's going to go though, where no managers get time anymore? It's actually out of the norm for managers to get time.
I feel like it's been like that. So Ollie is just an exception to the rule right now, I reckon. And I'm not saying Ollie should have gone or whatever. Like, that's a different conversation. No. But when you look at...
If you follow the timeline...
Yeah, he's...
Any other place, he would have unfortunately lost his... And you don't want anyone to ever lose his job, do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
But that just seems the way it goes. You're at a big club or you're at a club and the expectations out there, okay, we'll change it. But do you know what someone said to me the other day, I don't know if you agree, they said if David Moyes wasn't manager of Man United already, they'd be calling for him to go to Man United now.
Probably.
See, that's so mad, isn't it?
But
why does he do so well?
I thought at the time they got rid of... I feel like there were some mistakes he made at United. I remember in one transfer window when he first came, I think he got rid of Evra, Vidic and Ferdinand at one time, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
That in itself is just... You just don't do that. Yeah. You just
downhill after that, isn't it?
Yeah, do you know what I mean? But I feel like after... I don't think United were ready for how it's going to be after Sir Alex. I don't think they're ready.
People don't realise how good he was.
Yeah,
people don't realise how good he was.
But it's crazy because Moyes goes on now, and you see what he's doing at West Ham, and he's doing a really, really good job. Like,
unbelievable, mate.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
West Ham, our team, people don't really want to be playing right now. I don't want to play them.
No. Mikel Antonio's playing like R9, mate.
I'm telling you, mate. Like, he's a proper number 9 now.
Yeah, he's an animal, mate. He's an animal. He's an animal.
Do you know what's so funny? You can see that he's come from non-league, but when I first saw him, I was thinking, he's a bit too. He's not cultured. He's not. But you can see the improvements over the years, and now he's a genuine handful, genuine number 9, who demands that respect from a Premier League striker. Really,
yeah. Full, like, people do not, centre halves don't want to play against this guy, and if they don't take him serious, you're an absolute fool.
Yeah,
you're a fool, because he'll do some. He's got mad strength. He's fast, and he can dribble.
Yeah, and he
finishes, mate.
Can put it in the back of the net now. So yeah, one last thing, right?
Go on.
If you want to skip this, just say skip it. What do you think I'm going to ask you about?
I have no idea.
Your contract.
Oh, my contract, yeah.
So listen, we ain't got to talk about this in too much depth, but I don't want to talk about if you're going to sign or not. Forget that. I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about, like, if it's ever frosty while negotiations are going on, like, because any contract that I've ever signed, it wasn't. I was always just, how convenient. Yeah, I was just always, happy to be there. Like, just you know what I mean? It weren't really a negotiation. But when you get at your level, is it a thing of, we're negotiating, but it's a frosty, like, it's just tense. Do you know what I mean? Within the club.
Yeah, it is. Like, look, listen, I've my agents. I've been with my agent for since I was pro. Never let me down. Never will let me down. And there's only I won't name the club, but there's only one. There's one club I signed for, and when we were doing negotiations for me to go there, it's not Hull. That's all I'll give you. But when I was doing negotiations to go there, they were like, no, this is the budget. This is what's on. This is what's going on. This is fine. This is no problem. Blah, 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 blah. So I was like, okay, no problem. If that's the case, let's do this. Let's do that. And sign a contract. And then boys being boys, talking about contracts in the club was like, none of this. So I was like, that can't be true. So then I phoned my agent, and my agent done a bit of digging, and then it came true. And I was like, no. I ain't having this. I'm not having this. So came back around again where it was like, they had to come to me then about, like, would you like to extend? And we were like, well, yeah. But if we're extending, we're having it properly extended into, like, nothing astronomical, but like playing every week. You need to be in the ballpark of players who are in your position. And I had to done it. And that was the only time where I thought to myself, they got me. They done me. They got me good there. They got me good there for a couple of years. But then, long way around, it came back. But I've never been in a situation where you don't sign, you're not playing. Or I've never been in a situation where I've had to go into the manager and go, what are you offering me here? Are you taking the mick? Are you joking me? I've been really fortunate and blessed to never do that. I've seen players, like, if you don't sign this, you're not playing. And they're like, yeah, well done. And they're training with the youth team.
Yeah.
And they're training on their own. But like, in terms of those negotiations, contract, it's always hard. And you always, when you're contract negotiations and you're already at the club, you always get the gaffer come say, you signed a contract yet? What's going on? What's a hold up? Speak to your agent. What's going on? You're being too greedy. And then you just know that you're doing the dance. They don't know really what you would have signed for, and you don't know what they would have given you. Once you're ready to meet in the middle, as long as everyone's happy, you sign the contract, and then that's it.
Yeah. Oh man, I always wonder at the top level when they say they're in negotiations, and one person says no, that's not good enough. They still got to go and play the game. They still, be amongst the club officials and everything. So I always wonder.
Oh yeah.
if it's a bit,
Yeah, but the thing is, you try and reject and say no, but without saying no. So like you get a contract offer instead of saying, I ain't saying that. It's like we thank you for your offer and your recommendation, but we view Josh's progress and value to the team to be at this level. Do you know what I mean? At some places they might be as cutthroat as just saying, no, we want this, no, I want that, blah blah this. But how my agent works is like never burn a bridge, never do that. So we just always go around, and then at the end of it, you always get that handshake, like smiling in the background. But whatever happened before then, you don't know. You just have no clue. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Well, hopefully it all gets. Like, you do want to stay though, right?
Oh yeah, I've got no problem staying here. Family's
cool.
happening here, but obviously we've got the rumours about the takeover, that Frozen Spanner, so you don't know.
Yes.
You don't know what's going to happen. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I was literally reading about that yesterday. I didn't want to bring it up. Okay, well, very, very quick. When you hear stuff like that, then does that actually kick you into, oh, I'm going to sign before this happens? Or is it a thing of, actually, no, let me wait to see what happens?
Yeah. Well, you know what it's like? Like, you could, a new owner could come in, do you know what I mean? And could just say, no, we don't want you.
Yeah.
There's a pay up, off you go. And you could be like, what? Or a new owner come in and just be like, take a shiny and say, no, I want to keep you. What can we do? So like I could go and say to the gaffer or say to the owner, now, look, I'm in coming up the last 6 months of my contract, what's going to happen? And they could just say, I haven't got a clue. The club's possibly in the middle of being taken over. We need to wait for that. Do you know what I mean? So it might not even be worth your while even asking. It's just when a takeover happens, it's mad. But I've seen in the press that we're doing their due diligence, and then it'll have to be vetted by the EFL. So you don't know if it could be in the next couple of weeks, next couple of months. Just new owners, you just don't know. You just don't know where you stand, mate.
Yeah, no, you know what? Like, it's so. What I will say before we wrap up is, it's so refreshing because you can imagine, I do podcasts with so many players, and it's so refreshing whenever I talk to you because you're just so open, and I don't know if that's because you know that I'm not going to stitch you up, but
yeah, it's because I know you're not going to stitch me, yeah.
Yeah, so but it's just so refreshing because I feel like this is what people really want to hear because I've had some where you're talking to them and they are so media trained, it's unbelievable, where they're so scared to say anything at all, anything.
Yeah,
just like okay, because then it's just more like they're just here because of their name of who they are, as opposed to the actual which I don't
conversation. I
like it when it's like I like to have real conversations. So, but yeah, no, thank you so much for coming on again, man. And
no, it's the same here. No problem.